Speak your truth. There's a rhythm to every room, a pattern in how people move, talk, and hide their truth. My work has always required me to find that rhythm quickly. Whether it's in a classroom or a crowd or a client's confession, I've had to learn how to read strangers by watching their body language. That skill didn't come from textbooks or training. It came from a lifetime of watching, adapting, and surviving. This is Confessions of a Dominatrix. Episode 22. The Illusion of Power. Now, I've stood next to people the world worships for bodyguard work, executive protection. And I've watched strangers lose their mind in seconds. Not because of who those people actually were, but because of what they represented. And that's when I started to understand something most people never see clearly. People don't interact with reality. They interact with projection. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Before we get into this next section, I would like to take a moment to thank EcoBidet. They take cleanliness just as serious as I do, and as we all should. So I would like to thank them as an official sponsor, and if you or anyone you know can benefit from cleanliness and refreshness on the go, please scan the QR code right now. Section 1. What fame actually feels like. When you're around people who are well known, you don't just see them. You see what everyone else becomes around them. People get louder, more emotional, more entitled, more vulnerable. Some people worship. Some people overshare. Some people try to prove they belong in the same space. And some people completely forget how to act. Here's the part no one really likes to talk about. That famous person or your idol or hero or whatever, that person you're meeting, they are not meeting you as a human. They are bracing for every interaction that they have. Because they don't know which version of you they're about to get. Section 2. When you meet your heroes. Let me say this clearly because more people need to hear it. When you meet someone you admire, that is not the moment to emotionally dump on them. They are not your therapist. They are not prepared for your trauma, and they don't deserve to carry it. You might feel like it's once in a lifetime moment of yours that you have to take advantage of. But for them, it could be the 10th emotional interaction that day, or the 100th that week. And every time someone unloads on them, it takes something. If you want to be remembered, be grounded, be respectful, be brief. Genuine appreciation will always land better than an emotional chaos of a situation. Section 3. The costume effect. Before I ever stepped into high-level security, I spent time working as a full costume character. Head to toe, completely covered. No face, no identity, no voice. Just a walking symbol, cartoon character. And that experience taught me something most people never get to see up close. When you remove your identity completely, people don't lose interest. They replace you. Kids would light up instantly. Pure excitement, pure belief. To them, it was real. But adults didn't see me either. They saw a cartoon, a memory maybe, something familiar from their own life. And they responded to that, not me. Some people got playful, some people got awkward, some people got weirdly emotional, and some people completely changed their behavior. Because it wasn't about who I was. It was about what that character meant to them. And that was the gamble every time. You never knew what you were going to get or who you were going to trigger. Joy, nostalgia, discomfort, even fear. Same costume. Completely different reactions. And that's when it clicked. You don't have to be something powerful. You just have to represent something meaningful. And people will project the rest. Section 4. The bodyguard's perspective. My job was never just about protecting a person. It was about managing everything around them, including them. Because here's the truth people don't expect. The person you're protecting can be the biggest liability in the room. If they're grounded, aware of their environment, able to regulate themselves, they're actually easier to protect. They move better, they listen, they don't escalate situations unnecessarily. But if they're arrogant, unstable, or careless with how they move through the world, everything becomes harder. They ignore boundaries. They take unnecessary risks. They assume nothing will happen to them. In that mindset, that's what creates problems. Because now you're not just managing a crowd. You're managing someone who doesn't understand how their behavior affects that crowd. And at the same time, you're still dealing with everyone around them. Excitement turning into chaos. Admiration turning into entitlement. Curiosity turning into intrusion. So the job becomes layered. You're watching the room. You're watching the energy. And you're watching the person you're responsible for. Making sure they don't put themselves in a situation you have to pull them out of. Because protection isn't just about reacting to danger. It's about preventing it on all sides. Section 5. When projection turns into entitlement. There's another environment where this gets intense, and people don't talk about it enough. When I'm protecting individuals in the adult entertainment industry, you're not just dealing with fans. You're dealing with people who believe they already know that person intimately, because what they've seen feels real to them. It feels personal. It feels accessible. It feels like there are no boundaries. But that's the illusion. What you're actually managing in those moments is the collision between fantasy and reality. And when that illusion breaks, some people don't handle it well. They don't see a human being in front of them. They see access. They see entitlement. They see an opportunity to step into something that was never real to begin with. And that's where it becomes dangerous. Because now you're not just managing excitement. You're managing expectation. Expectation that was built in private, reinforced over time, disconnected from reality. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The longer someone lives in that kind of fantasy, the harder it is for them to regulate themselves when they're faced with the real person. That's not connection. That's projection without boundaries. If someone believes they have access to you in their mind long enough, they'll eventually try to claim it in real life. Section 6. The internet is a costume. Now take all of that and put it online, where everyone has a filter, a persona, a curated identity. The internet didn't create fake people. It just gave everyone a stage to perform. You can control how you look, what you say, who you appear to be. And over time, people stop building who they are and start managing how they're perceived. Section 7. Popping the bubble. So let's say the quiet part out loud. The people you admire, they are not who you think they are. Not because they're fake, but because your perception of them is incomplete. They're tired. They're human. They have bad days, bad habits, bad moments, just like you. The difference is their lives are amplified. Yours just isn't. Section 8. The real lesson. If you strip all of this down, fame, costumes, internet personas, you're left with one question. Who are you when no one is watching? Because real power isn't in being seen. It's in being stable. It's in knowing who you are without needing everyone else to confirm it. Closing. In once you start to understand projection, how we assign meaning, value, and power to people, you start seeing something else. We don't just do this with celebrities. We do it with anyone in a position of authority. People with titles, uniforms, status. We assume they're better, smarter, more trustworthy even. And sometimes we stop questioning them entirely. So in the next episode, we're going to break that down. Because power isn't just something we admire. It's something we give away. And most people don't even realize they're doing it. Thank you for listening.